In 2025, I saw 12 films in the horror genre, and I'm gonna go through and try to review them in like 15 minutes. Okay, so the first film I saw was Companion, which is a fun sci-fi thriller movie with horror elements. It's about three couples that go to a cabin, and when one of the couples tries to make a move on one of the other two couples, things go awry, and certain things are revealed about the partners of these couples. And if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch the trailer. Just go watch it. It's a very fun, twisty thriller. The second horror film that I saw in 2025 is Together. Now, I was anticipating this movie because I love Alison Brie, I like Dave Franco, and body horror is, on the uptick in popularity because of a movie called The Substance. But this movie was just kind of lackluster. It was fine. The script was serviceable. The body horror was underwhelming. It's a fun movie if you have time to kill and you've seen every other movie that was made. The next movie I saw in the horror genre in 2025 that came out in the year of our Lord and Savior 2025 was The Monkey. Now, this was atrocious. The Monkey is by Osgood Perkins, the son of queer actor Anthony Perkins from Psycho. And he directed Longlegs last year, which I thought was fine. I thought that if the tone was balanced a little better and it wasn't so goddamn serious, it would have been a way better movie, but who am I to say? Now, the opposite is true for The Monkey. It's just way too. It thinks it's funny, and it's not. It's slapstick, but um, it's not humorous. Things just happen. The gore is pretty much all CGI, which makes it feel like you're watching a bunch of Mortal Kombat kills over and over. And those kills aren't even that fun or interesting. Much of them are Rube Goldberg inspired, elaborate kills that are just boring and predictable, and the movie is very smug. It thinks it's funny, it thinks it's edgy, it thinks it's doing something uh you know besides just being profane and gratuitous for the sake of it, but it's not. It's the end of the movie. It's just Scooby-Doo level camp, but with the tone is awful. uh, what's our main actor's name? I don't even remember. Fuck him for being in this movie. It is the twins, and main actor does not know what the movie is going for. And it's not his fault because Oz doesn't know what the movie is going for. And I don't know why they keep letting him make a movie a year, but I'll keep watching them. Death of a Unicorn is the fifth horror movie that I saw in 2025, and this one was even worse than the last. Death of a Unicorn is about Jenna Ortega and Paul Rudd, their father and daughter, and Paul Rudd plays this dad that essentially works for a pharmaceutical company, and they go to a get together for the pharmaceutical company, and on the way, Paul Rudd hits a unicorn. They put the unicorn in the trunk of their car, but it turns out that the unicorn is still kind of alive. So the pharmaceutical company takes the horn of the unicorn and finds out that they can cure cancer. So they become extremely excited, and the whole movie tells you what's gonna happen right before it does. It's grating to watch. It's so unbelievably frustrating and predictable. The actors are fine, the tone is fine, but the plot is just so annoying. The script is terrible. The jokes. There's one joke that's funny. Um, I forgot it though. He's running with like a grandfather clock, and he's like said something about I don't remember. That movie sucked so bad. Um, and there's these weird trip sequences in the middle of the movie that are so uninspired, and I hate an uninspired trip sequence because an inspired one can be so good. Like, look at If I Had Legs, I Would Kick You. Very different tonally, but God, the trip sequences are so good in that movie. The trip sequence in The Substance is so good. Like these surreal, uh, like roller coaster esque camera movements into nothingness, and the dreamy surrealism is so satisfying when pulled off well. And this movie does it so poorly. Um, she reads a book that tells you everything that's gonna happen in the movie, and then they telegraph it with the filmmaking. They'll show like a knife or something, and then be like, oh, I hope you don't stab me with a knife, and then they get stabbed with it. Like, so bad. Don't watch Death of a Unicorn in a million years, even if you've seen every movie 100 times. Never watch that one. Um, but yeah, okay, let's calm down. We get to talk about a movie that I actually liked, Sinners. Sinners is about these twins in post slavery South. I believe it's the Reconstruction era, and they essentially are in this part of Mississippi, I believe, and they want to start this juke joint, which is a music club for blues music. Um, and in order to do that, they have to make a deal with the Klan. I'm not even sure if they're fully aware that it's the Klan, but the Klan would own a lot of land in the South during that time, which made it hard for black people to own land and to buy land. But they managed to get this property, and they managed to line up all their ducks in order to open the place. And on opening night, they get a knock on the door, and it's these four Irish lads that are wildly out of place, and they have like a banjo and a guitar, and they're singing about I strip, pick poor Robin clean or some shit. And the everybody in the juke joint is like, what the we're not letting them in. But I believe it's Stack, cause Smoke is the more strict one. But I think Stack is like, come on, they spend money the same. But he's like, no, I don't trust them. Who invites them in? I forget who invites them in. Or no, I think somebody goes outside. Somebody becomes a vampire. Somebody's bit, and it's not good. Um, Let me stop spoiling the movie. Talk about the middle scene, the centerpiece scene, I would say, in the movie where Miles Caton, I believe his name, is who plays Sammy Moore, is playing an original song on the opening night of his uncle's, I believe, juke joint. Um, and he's playing, and the ghost of all of like the music that came before and that comes after that inspired and is inspired by the music that he's currently playing are dancing around him and performing, and the camera moves up into the ceiling, which is burning, and it moves out and you feel like you're flying, and then it ends into this darkness, and the guitar goes and you see all the vampires, and it's so cool. um Everybody talks about that scene when talking about the movie, which is, rightfully so. But there's also an action scene at the end of this movie that is so rewarding, because the movie, quote, ends, I would say, 3 times, but this ending is just so rewarding, and it's so good, and it's ugh, Anyways, I'm not gonna spoil it because it's coming out back in theaters on Halloween. So if you haven't seen it, go see it. Alright. Final Destination Bloodlines is about this family that is suffering from the curse of the Final Destination because somebody in their family lineage avoided death and da 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 da. Bah. This great movie. Probably the best Final Destination movie in the series. Some really fun kills, some really fun characters, great practical and CG effects that are blended really well. So, if you like any Final Destination movies, or if you like campy, fun, uh, Halloween party horror, if you want a movie to put on at your Halloween party, so this is a good one. Bring Her Back. I saw this at a Scream Unseen before any reviews came out, and I was not expecting something so depraved and grisly and dark and dreary and depressing, and it's rough. It's a rough watch and it's gnarly, but I absolutely loved it. It's the only movie that made me squirm in years. It's the only movie that um puts a pit in my stomach and makes me want to look away. Um, and it's a rough watch. Children are in peril literally the whole movie. It's about these orphan siblings that are put into foster parents' home, and that foster parent is trying to use one of the siblings as a surrogate for the spirit of her dead daughter. Um, yeah, it's a rough watch. It's dark. It has somewhat of a hopeful ending, but even the ending is pretty rough. Don't see that movie if you're sensitive to horror or to disturbing things. But if you just want to feel something for the first time in a while, put that on, turn it all the way up, turn the volume all the way up. Because there's a scene in the middle that is as auditorily disturbing as visually. Um, yeah, go for it, because that movie will make a grown man squirm. The eighth horror movie I saw in 2025 is 28 Years Later, which is about this family, in the 28, you know, apocalypse, zombie apocalypse. Um, and in this society, when you turn 15, you start contributing, and that means either going out and killing the people that are infected with the rage virus, or I don't know what the alternative is, because that's what our main character is tasked with doing, going out and killing people with the rage virus. And they're not really zombies because they never died. Uh, they have just been infected with a virus that makes them uh, turn into having the characteristics of zombies. Um, but they're just people with a virus, which is an important thematic element of this movie. This movie is thematically really rich, as are some of Alex Garland's movies. Um, and the ending is tragically poetic and beautiful. It's a really good movie. I would say if you haven't seen it, uh, just watch it with no expectations. It's not really scary, but it is really good. Now, the eighth movie I saw in 2025 is Weapons. Weapons is incredible. I don't know how else to describe it. It's an epic, big, sprawling thriller mystery in the vein of Zodiac, and it's really like Zodiac meets I guess Magnolia, but yeah, it's just a great movie. My cats are literally losing their minds. Hey, they're like fighting each other. I might have to separate them. Um, yeah, Weapons is great. Um, it's composed of 5 acts, basically. Each act, focusing on a new main character. And this provides for like an extremely interesting, compelling, unraveling of the plot. Sorry. Um, yeah. It's tonally like a magic trick. It's dark sometimes, and it's hilarious, and it's frightening. It has some jump scares that are legitimately, you know, legit. It's not just cheap. I mean, cheap as jump scares get. As not cheap as a jump scare can be, but I don't mind them at all. I think jump scares are perfectly fine. But they also don't affect me, so um but yeah. Yeah, Weapons it's really impressive, considering this is the second official solo Zach Kreger directorial project, but third official. And I mean, he's done countless sketches and shorts. He's part of the Whitest Kids You Know troupe. This movie is actually related to the passing of his friend Trevor Moore, who was the head basically with him of the Whitest Kids You Know. Um, and if you liked Weapons, or if you liked the Whitest Kids You Know, or if you like comedy, they do have a new animated movie coming out called Mars. I think it's called Mars. And it has the whole cast is in it. It's voiced by the whole cast. It's written by everyone. It's directed by everyone. It has I guess it would be Trevor Moore's last performance. Um, and that should be coming out soon. So, be on the lookout for that film. But yeah, I would recommend Weapons a million times over. The next movie that I saw in 2025 is The Long Walk, which is based off of a Stephen King story by the same name, and it's essentially about these young men that are enlisted to do a competition where they have to go on a long walk, and whoever makes it to the very end, which there's no end point, it's just whoever doesn't drop dead from exhaustion wins one wish, which is not like a magical wish, but you could be like president or something, I guess, and a boatload of money. And this film is pretty good. It's not very predictable in a way that you would expect a thriller like this to be. And up until like the very end, you really don't know what's gonna happen. Um, and that's probably credit to the original story by the King of Horror. But yeah, it's a good. But yeah, it's a good thriller. It's not very scary. It is, emotional at times. It doesn't hit all the way, but it can if you're susceptible to it. Um, but yeah, it's just a satisfying horror movie with uh weird weird amount of gore, CG gore at that, which I hate. I hate CG gore. But The Long Walk is held up by like two incredible performances from Cooper Hoffman, who is, best known for Licorice Pizza and being the son of acclaimed actor Philip Seymour Hoffman, and David Johnston, who's best known for being in the show Industry on HBO, being in Rye Lane, Alien Romulus, and this. And yeah, is those two performances really ground the film, and the charisma between our two leads is really half the reason to watch. But yeah, I would recommend you watch that movie if you haven't. Now the next movie I saw officially, even though it's listed differently, is VHS Halloween, which is a compilation movie. The VHS series is made up of like compilations of found footage shorts. And VHS Halloween is Halloween focused. Um, and there's four shorts in that movie that I really like. Phantasma, the soda one, the wraparound. Um, Kid Print, As Above, So Below. And I liked Coochie Coochie Coo mainly because I like the concept of an adult reverting back to baby. Um, that's pretty freaky and pretty fun. Um, but yeah, the other two are fine. It's the one where they're in the mascot place or something, and then the one at the end with the haunted house. I didn't hate them. They were fine. Coochie Coochie Coo was also fun. I really liked Kid Print. I really liked As Above, So Below, and I enjoyed the Phantasma wraparound. Um, so yeah, would I recommend? I guess, even though 2 out of 5 are fine. That's usually how it goes with these. And yeah, I would say if you haven't seen any of the VHS movies, it's Halloween. What are you doing? Watch one. Watch one. And then the next horror movie that I saw in 2025 is Chainsaw Man. Now, Chainsaw Man is the Reze Arc specifically is kind of like an interlude between the first and second seasons of the anime. And I watched the part 1 and part 2 compilation movies on the same day that I saw the Reze Arc, so I was a little bit Chainsaw Man'd out when I saw it, but I still really enjoyed it. It's a lot of fun. The first 40 minutes are like just a romantic kind of hangout movie. The opening like theme intro was really cool. I love food in animes. It looks so yummy. Yummy, yummy, yummy. Um, and yeah, the once it starts, it just does not stop. The action is great. The animation is beautiful. There's neon. There's whole scenes that are lit up in beautiful oranges and reds, and it's breathtaking. Um, and I didn't know what was gonna happen. I didn't read the manga, so I thought it was really good. I thought the story was pretty good. I knew that, Reze wasn't gonna be, the love of his life forever and ever. But I didn't know what was gonna happen. It was fun. It was a fun time. I'm starting to get tired at the end of this video. Um, so good thing we have one movie to talk about and then a special presentation. The last horror movie that I saw in 2025 that came out in 2025 is Shelby Oaks, the latest horror movie I've seen. And I've been Stuckmanized since I was 12 years old. So I came into this ultra charitable and with low expectations because a lot of people were trashing it. And, I liked it. And it just is kind of a dud. I think there's a lot of interesting ideas and there's a lot about it to like. I really enjoyed the introductory tidbit. which is in like this documentary style, including like YouTube videos and all this different lost media. It's really interesting, a really compelling way to tell the story, but then it kind of switches over to a more traditional format. And the middle part just meanders incredibly. It's not terrible. There's, atmosphere in this section that is tangible and unsettling, but it's just there's no point to a lot of the scenes in the middle. And that's not good for keeping my attention. And by the time the third act came around, I was in for anything to happen. And in this section, everything is revealed that was introduced as a mystery in the first section. So it's kind of confusing as to why the middle would meander so much, but I digress. I just the third act, the mysteries are solved, but they're kind of silly, but like exploitative feeling in nature because of the subject matter it's referring to and the horror that this woman is going through. Um, and then there's another part after the third act big climax reveal where there's another kind of reveal, and it's just very silly. Um, so if you see it on streaming, watch that first 40 minutes. It's awesome. And then just treat it like a mystery that never gets solved. 'Cause that first act is really impressive. Um, the whole movie's impressive because of, it's his first feature, but the script is very much less so. So I am excited to see if he has another project coming up because I would love to see him direct a different script or a script written by somebody else. Because his directing is not only competent, but there's like interesting choices that work. Like there's camera movements that work. There's some camera movements that are a bit much. She's moving the camera a lot whenever she's researching old newspapers and stuff, and it's like, okay, calm down. But I think that once he settles into his confidence as a filmmaker a little more, the movies he makes will be really good. Now, for my final review, I saw Paranorman last night and it was incredible. I've seen Paranorman 10 times probably. It was my favorite movie as a kid, but I saw it in 3D. And you know, and 3D was fine. I'm gonna be honest. It did not need to be shown primarily in 3D, strictly in 3D in my theater. I wish I could have caught a 2D showing, but the 3D was fine. It didn't really distract too much. I could still appreciate a lot of the detail in the sets and in the character models, and um, that movie has some camera movements that are just astounding. Like it's insane when he's in the bathroom and the stall starts acting up and just whips around the whole stall and these close up like, ah, man. And there's this dolly zoom that's done whenever I think Alvin opens the door in one shot, and it dolly zooms on him, but it's stop motion, so you can do a perfect dolly zoom because they have like these computer controlled cameras, so they can precisely control everything about the computer and the distance of the zoom. It's just so good. Movie is so good. It's one of my favorite movies. The grand metaphor of that movie is um incredible. The ending of the movie is tragically incredible and poetic and heartwarming, and that movie is just incredible. One of my favorite movies. But they showed this short in front of the movie called The Thrifting, which was really good. It's not as good as a movie, but it's not a movie. It's a short, and it's essentially about Paranorman going Halloween costume shopping for at a thrift store, and the thrift store starts getting poltergeisted a little bit, where things start getting thrown around, and Paranorman sees the little ghost boy and starts talking to him, and it's really fun, and it's great seeing Norman and Neil back together. But I think this would be a great concept for a like episodic TV show or something. If Leica if Leica is thinking about doing sequels, they should do a sequel series to Paranorman, because you know, climactically, what does that even mean? Just, theatrically, theatrically, the first Paranorman movie is big, and I don't think you could really reach that level again with the same concept. But in an episodic series, it would be really fun for Norman to just be going around everywhere in town, and now everybody believes that he can see ghosts and isn't so weirded out by it. So you could just go around talking to ghosts freely and go to different places that are haunted and help people resolve their ghost issues, and it would be really cool, really fun, and I would watch that series 10 times over. Yeah, so I guess that's it. But yeah, that's the 12 movies plus one short that I saw in 2025 that are horror reviewed.